In a struggling, small Japanese town in late World War II, a young man has to take care of his little sister. They have to deal with air raids, food shortages, poverty. And something happens in which this young man is now forced to take care of his sister kind of alone. And as time passes by, this young man and his sister are just struggling to survive. This movie has some of the most effective direction I've ever seen in any movie. Whether it's a shot choice or it's just the way they choose to present a certain event, it always just feels like the exact right choice. First time that we see this air raid, and we see this kid just running with his little sister on his back, and he's terrified, and we're terrified right alongside him. Plenty of upsetting images like that, things that you probably couldn't do in live action, especially at the time this movie was made. When the movie starts out, there's this atmosphere where you can feel the danger, you can feel that there is something coming, but at the beginning it still feels like home. As time goes on, you start to see this town devolve, you start to see how all these air raids are affecting it. You start to see how it affects the people, and in turn affects our main character. Because as time has gone on, less and less food has become available, so all of these characters are becoming extremely selfish. You can see as time goes on that everyone becomes more angry, less empathetic. They're about self-preservation, not about helping their neighbors. You feel all these events weighing the town down, and it leads to this sense of tragic inevitability. This movie establishes this relationship between brother and sister. It's beautiful. You can see immediately how this little sister represents to the brother hope and purity. He does so much to protect this hope and purity. He lies to her, he steals food. When everyone in the town starts becoming selfish and unempathetic, he decides to move her to the cave to keep her away from the darkness of the world. The movie is telling you very subtly and very consistently that our main character is taking actions to protect his sister's innocence. And that shows a wonderful understanding of the character. And the little sister is wonderful. She is this innocent, wide-eyed little girl. She acts like an actual real child, and she shows us both the positives and the negatives of being innocent and pure. You do end up loving her as a character. She is this flawed child. She's not this angel. She whines, she complains, she's irrational. She acts like a human being would, and that's so important to the story. It's important to the tragedy, and it's part of what makes this movie brilliant. This is an incredibly effective movie that understands people and the nature of war. And it shows us a perspective on war that we usually don't get to see on film. And it conveys that perspective brilliantly. Grave of the Fireflies absolutely gets an A+.